Welcome back to Further Solutions Academy. Further Solution Academy. On this video, I'll be walking you through sequence and series. By the end of this video, you understand what is called sequence and series. Normally, as time goes on, when I'm defining, I have to expatiate on arithmetic progression and geometric progression. That is the main purpose of this, the main focus of this topic. But I will start from definition of sequence. Now, we'll talk about sequence. Sequence is an array of numbers or items. Now, when I talk about array, I need to emphasize on array. Array means arrangement. Do you get it now? Now, it has arrangement. It means it is arrangement because it has a pattern. Do you get it right? Now, for instance, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, this is a set of a what? Of natural number. We have numbers, real number, rational number, irrational number, integers, but this is set of real numbers. Now, it's a sequence. Why is a sequence? It has a pattern. The pattern is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the pattern is one interval. There are common steps between them, which is the step is what? 1. After 1, when you add 1 to 1, you have 2. Add 1 to 2, you have 3. That is pattern. Do you get me right? And also look at this one. I have 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on and so forth. Now, it's also a what? It has a pattern of 5. It means 5 is being added to 5. We have this, and we have this, and we have that. Now, another one I can say that 3 minus 1, 1, and 3, and so on and so forth. Now, all this you are looking at, they are called sequence. They are called sequence. Now, let me move on to what is called series. Now, series is a summation of sequence. Now, don't forget that for this to be a series, it must have a pattern. Do you get to know? Now, when you now talk about series, it means summation. This word summation means additive. You are adding up. Now, at this junction, when you have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus and so on and so forth, this becomes a what? Series. Now, another, if I have 5 plus 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus and so on and so forth, this is becoming what? Series. Now, series is a summation of a what? Of a sequence. Now, mind you, let me emphasize 3 plus bracket of 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus and so on. Now, look at this. That is, anytime you have a summation of a what? Of a sequence, that is called series. Now, from this series, I've explained what is called array. Array means arrangement. Don't forget, arrangement. Whether in what? Ascending order or descending order. Now, this is what will now take us to what? Pattern. Now, mind you, this is a sequence and this is a what? Series. Let me now quickly explain what is called now the pattern of the arrangement determine whether is what. Now the pattern determine whether is what? Whether is arithmetic progression or geometric progression. Now, that is what I'm going to be working on. Now, when you talk about arithmetic progression, it means it follows addition and subtraction. That is arithmetic progression. If it is geometric progression, it follows multiplication and division. Now, mind you, if it is addition will be what? Ascending. Now, division will be what? Descending. And this one will be what? Ascending. And this one will be what? descending. Now, those are the things you need to understand at this junction. Now, this one will now take me to what is called arithmetic progression. Now, it means on this video, I will continue with what? Arithmetic progression. Okay. Okay, now these are the outline that I'll be working on arithmetic progression, which is, we call it AP, arithmetic progression. Now, the first thing we'll be working on, it will be what? Definition of arithmetic progression, finding missing term, which is A and D, and finding A and D, which is first term and the common difference. Yeah. And the last one is missing term and the sum of what? AP. Now, on this video, I'll be working on definition of what? Arithmetic progression, and some little problems on arithmetic progression. Now, when I was explaining sequence and series, I've told you about pattern. I've told you about geometric progression and arithmetic progression, which is how it's being done. Now, but in this time around, we are working with operation plus and minus. Now, you will see the application of addition and minus. Don't forget that I make use of a word array. Array means an arrangement, whether in what? Ascending or descending. Now, for me to talk about AP, let me quickly use these items. Look at these items. Now, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on and so forth. Now, if I have this item, now let's talk about the pattern. Now, pattern is 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, and so on and so forth. Now, because of this 1, and 1, sorry, this is 1. Do you get me right? Now, each of them is taking a step of 1, 1, 1. Now, it means the pattern is what? 1, 1, 1. It means I will now go by saying that what? My common difference is 1. Now, the number, we call it a leading term, which is the number that is first on the system. Now, the first term is what? Is 1. Because this is the first number. And the common difference is 1, 1, 1. It means the differences between them is 1. Now, mind you, this my common difference, we use it as D, and this one is called what? A. That is what we call it. That is why I mentioned of what? A and D. It means first term and the common difference. Now, look at this as it is. I will call it T1, T2, T3, T4. Now, it means first term, second term, third term, fourth term, and so on and so forth. Now, for me to get my common difference is being used by what? Finding T2 minus T1. It must also be equals to T3 minus T2. It also be equals to T4 minus T3, and so on and so forth. It must have what? Common difference. Now, my first term, which is I've explained that to you. Now, quickly, let me quickly explain what is called. Now, for instance, look at this 26. Another one. I have 20. I have 12. I have 12, I have 19, I have 26, I have 33. Now, look at this. This is the what? This is the item. Now, there are items. Now, the pattern is the first thing is 12 plus 7, 19 plus 7, 26 plus 7, and that is going to be like that. Now, can you see that we have 7, 7? It means my common difference is 7. Now, it means I'm saying that my first term, my common difference, which is D, is equals to what? 7. My A, which is my first term, or is called leading term, we call it leading term, is called 12. Now, how do I get my first term? My common difference. the easiest way of doing it is T2 minus T1. You will notice that what is my T2? This is my T2, this is my T1, this is my T3, and this is my T4. Now, my T2, which is 19 minus 12, it will be equals to 7. Now, in any way, this is how we find our first term. Now, can I move on to the next one? Now, I want to explain what is called ascending and descending pattern. Now, ascending and descending. Now, look at this. When you do your common difference and you are having a negative, the first one, look at this. I have, let me just use 23, 26, 19, 12, and so on and so forth. Now, look at this. And another one, this is the first one, first pattern, first item. Now, I'm talking about second item now. Second item. Now, I have 12, I have 19, 26, and 33, and so on and so forth. Now, look at this. This is my first one, second one. Now, my common difference here, my common difference, we call it, which is known as D, will be equals to what? 26 minus what? 33, which is equals to what? It will be minus 7. Now, my common difference here, which is called as known as D, will be what? 19 minus 12, which is known as 7. Now, can you see at the point of negative is what? Is descending, and at the point of positive, which is going to be plus 7, is ascending. Can you see? That is what I mean by what? Ascending pattern and descending pattern. Now, I think with this, you should be able to understand what is called arithmetic progression and geometric progression. Don't forget what is called array. It must be perfectly arranged, and it must have a common difference. That is what differentiates statistics and sequence. Sequence and series. Statistics is just like, we are talking about the data. We don't mind the gap between them. But in a sequence, it must have a what? Particular pattern, which is common different. Now, let me quickly write out some problems, which is some questions, and work on it. Okay, before I write out some problems, I want you to understand some things. Now, this is a formula for finding nth term of a what? Of a sequence. Okay, the formula says that T of n equals to a plus n minus 1 bracket of what? D. That is the formula for finding nth term. It means a number position in a particular term can be found with using this formula. Now, for instance, where what? I can also say that, which also implies my T of n equals to what? First term plus last term. Now, my first term plus last term, where what? Where my L equals to what? N minus 1 bracket of D. Take note of that. Now, and my A is known as first term. Now, my D is called common difference. My N is known as nth term. And this is going to be term. And what else? My L is what? Last term. Now, all this is very important. Please master this formula very well. Now, as this has been done to you guys, understand this, please allow me to write out some problems, which we are going to work on very soon. Okay. Okay, by the time I explain this 4 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, we explain, I'll be able to understand what arithmetic progression is all about. Now, let's start with the first one, which is solution to the first number. Now, the first question says that, Find the fourth term. It means I'm looking for what? T4. I don't know it. Find the fourth term of an arithmetic progression whose first term, my A, first term is 2, which is my first term is 2, and common difference, my D is 0.5. Now, this is a very simple question that you can solve easily. Don't forget that my T of n equals to A plus n minus 1 bracket of D. Now, it's now time to what? It means my n is equals to 4. That is what I'm trying to tell you now. My n equals to 4. It means my T4 will be equals to, what's my A? 2 plus 4 minus 1 bracket of what? 0.5. 4 minus 1, it will be 0. That will be 3. Now, I'll be having 2 plus 3 multiplied by 0.5, which is going to be what? 1.5 plus 2, which is my T4 will be equals to 3.5. Now, this is my T. It means the number in that position, fourth, is 3.4. Now, how do I generate my sequence? My sequence will be like this. The first number is 2. Now, common difference is, it means 2 plus 1.5. I'll be having 2.5. Now, the next one will be what? Plus, that will be what? 3. And the next one will be what? 3.5. 3.5. Now, this one is T1, T2, T3, T4. First, second, third, and fourth. That is just what is all about that. Now, that is that. The next one is find the ninth term of the arithmetic what? Progression, which is, this is a sequence already. Now, for your information, this sequence is descending because it's going down. It's going down. What I need to find is, don't forget that the first thing you do there is my T equals to A plus n minus 1 bracket of T. But this time around, is only your n is 9, which is n is 9. Now, your first term, which is your A, is already, the first number here is what? Is 18. Now, how do I get your common difference? Your common difference is always T2 minus T1, which is implies 12 minus 8, which is I'll be having minus 6. Can you see? I'm having my minus number. It's a negative. That's what I was explaining that time. It will descend. That's why it's descending. But this one is positive. Can you see it's positive? Is ascending. Now, for me to move on, I can now say that what? My T of 9 equals to, what's my first term? My first term is 18 plus n, which is going to be what? 9 minus 1 bracket of what? Minus 6. It's put bracket like this. Now, this one will be 8 multiplied by minus 6 plus 18. Now, which is going to be what? 40. It will be 48 minus 48 plus, this is going to be minus 18, which is I'll be having 40, that will be 30. It means my T9 equals to what? 30, minus 30. Now, it means the number that is standing in position 9 on this sequence is what? On this sequence is minus 30. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Solution to this also. Come to this marker. We need to come and sponsor us. Please marker our marker. Yeah, okay. Now, let's say this also. I have this, the sum of T2, and which is the term of second and fifth term of an arithmetic progression is what? Is 42. It means T2 plus A. This cannot work. It cannot work like this. Now, it means I'm talking about T2 plus T5 equals to 42. Now, for your information, my T2 himself will give me what? A plus 2 minus 1 bracket of D. Now, plus my T5 will give me A plus 5 minus 1 bracket of D. It will be equals to 42. Now, how I get, this is my second term, fifth term, which is from this formula I listed here. Now, I wrote here, Now, for me to move on, I will have a plus d plus, it's good to put bracket like this because there are different things entirely, and plus a plus 4d equals to 42. Now, for me to move on, this and this, it will be 2a, this and this, it will be plus 5d equals to 42. Now, I will call it equation 1. I'll call it equation 1. Now, for me to have my equation 1 like this, I can now move on by having, how do I get my equation 2? My equation 2 is, if the difference between the sixth and the third term is 12, it means C6 minus T3 is equals to 12, which the same thing that occur here, you can say that what? My A plus 6 minus 1 bracket of D minus, please initiate brackets here, minus A plus 3 minus 1 bracket of D, close the bracket like this, equals to 12. Now, this one will be what? 5. A plus 5D. Now, A plus 2D equals to 12. Now, for me to move on, I'll be having this, we cancel this, which is minus, and this one will give us 3D. 3D equals to what? 12. It means by 3, which will be what? D will be equals to what? 4. My D will be equals to 4. Since my D is equals to 4, please allow me to, because the space are available. D is equals to 4. Please take note of this information. Since my D is equals to 4, my D equals to 4. Now, since my D is equals to 4, I can answer that what? My A, which is put D into equation 1. What's that equation 1? I forgot it though. Equation 1 says that that have it right. Sorry. Okay, my equation 1 says that 2D plus 2A plus 5D equals to 42. I think I'm talking about T5 A plus yes, D plus 5, that is going to be 42. Now, what is my, this is going to be what? 5 bracket of 4 equals to 42 plus 2A, which is going to be 20. 2A equals to 20, 42 minus 20, which is, it will be equals to 22. Divide both sides by 2A. This will cancel. It means my A equals to 11. My A equals to 11. Since my A equals to 11, I think I can now move on by having my, I need my D. My A equals to 11. My D equals to 4. Now, for me to get my T20, my T20 will be, it means T20 will be equals to A plus 20 minus 1 bracket of D. Now, T20 will be equals to, what is my A? My A is 11 plus, that will be 19 bracket of 4, which is 19 times 4. It will be, I know that 20 times 4, that will be it will be equals to now that will be 76. Now I'll be having 11 plus 76, which is I'll be having 87. It will be 87. It means my T20 is equals to 87. Now this is 87. It means my D is 4. My A first time is what? Is 7. The number in position 20, in position 20 is 84. That is the interpretation. Now, the next one is, I want to move on to this one. Now, I just need to move on to this one. Look at this also. It's a very simple one. Find if the ninth term of an arithmetic progression is what? Now it means I'm talking about T9 is 5 times the what? It means 5 of T5. Can you see that? Find the relationship between A and D. Don't forget that this one will give us A plus 9 minus 1 bracket of D equals to 5 bracket of A plus 5 minus 1 bracket of D. Now, can you see? Please put bracket here. Here will be what? A plus 8D equals to 5A plus, this one will be 4. That will be 20D. Yes, 5A and 20D. Now, hope I'm not making any mistake. 5 times, yes. Now, I want to collect like term. Now, it means I'll be having A minus 5A equals to what? 20D minus 8D. Now, here will be give us 4 minus 4A equals to what? 12D. Divide both sides by what? By 4. By 4, okay, by minus 4, no problem. This will cancel this, and A will be equals to year 1, year 3. Now, minus 3D. Now, this is the relationship between them. I can also say that what? A plus 3D equals to 0 is also a relationship. I can also say that 3D equals to minus A is also a relationship. Now, anyhow you feel like doing it, you are good to go. Now, I think by now you understand definition of arithmetic progression very well. In the next video, I'll be working on missing term, which is first term, and so on and so forth. Once again, thanks for watching.